Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Julian. I'm going to be your host today. We've got some fantastic comics for you, but right now I'm working on a couple of songs. There we go. That's Sunny Side of the Street. It's an American standard. I'm just going to be teaching you a little bit of music history as we go. And this is one. I don't think any of you, any Jack Harlow fans out there, what's poppin'? What's poppin', everybody? This is what's poppin'. That's not it. That's not what it was either. But that's another fantastic song. My name's Julian, everybody. I realize normally we have a DJ here. We have DJ Paul, and he wasn't able to make it. But what we do have is me and a piano, which I'm bringing around some places. I hate to say it, I do just in case I have to. I have a ukulele. I don't want to have to use this, but if you make me use this, I will. Okay. And we have some fantastic comics. We've got Zach Kusan. We've got Caroline Hibbert. It's possible there will be others. Possible. Oh, someone's knocking on my door. I hope that's not an angry neighbor. I don't think I've done anything too bad yet, right? I think one of them would email me at this point. Hopefully, it was just a delivery. I'm just going to keep talking. I'm going to keep welcoming all of you. I'm going to start with a song, though. This is a song that I've been working on, and it's not finished. Can I just make sure you all can hear that, right? Yeah. Okay. Do you all know who Anne Hathaway is? Throw it up in the chat if you're an Anne Hathaway fan, or if you've got a favorite Anne Hathaway moment, a favorite Anne Hathaway film, anything like that. No one's throwing it up in the chat. That's okay. You know, Devil Wears Prada is something she did. She was in Les Mis, the film version, the widely panned film version. People do not like this version of Les Miserables. Devil Wears Prada. Thank you, Cynthia. What else has she done besides? She was Princess Diaries. She's been around. She was.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
That's right.
Ocean's 13, what everyone considers to be the best Ocean's film of, or no, Ocean's 8. I'm sorry. And so I saw her at Target one time. Okay, for you all, that sounds pretty insane to see Anne Hathaway at Target. No, because Anne Hathaway is a movie star. You don't expect to see a movie star at Target. I saw her at Target, and I wrote this song about it, and I'm going to play it for you right now. And then we're going to get to these fantastic comments. Yeah, please feel free to engage with our performers through this chat box. Please, I'm the performer right now. You don't have to feel free to engage with me. I'm getting you all warm and excited for these fantastic comics, but there will be words, but not yet. I learned all this during the pandemic. I saw Anne Hathaway at Target once upon a time. She was looking at some sensible containers, I believe. I sprint walked right around the corner where I found a guy. I said, Anne Hathaway's here. He said, holy shit, are you for real? And for years upon years, I told my story, and it brought people joy. But the joy was short-lived. You know why that joy was short-lived? Because one day Beyonce went to Target and the pack procured some pics, then promptly sold those pics to People magazine. So now when I inform someone Anne Hathaway shops at Target, they say, oh, that's pretty neat. Do you know Beyonce shops there too? Yes, it's pretty neat, and I know Beyonce shops there too. The difference is, folks, what's the difference, folks? Well, folks, the difference is you saw a photograph of a highly photographable and photographic person in a magazine in which she's often photographed. But I saw with my own eyes the motherfucking Fontaine Catwoman Devil Wears Prada girl. Not to mention the goddamn Princess of Genovia. That's as far as I am on the song, but it's all about, just enjoying the moments in your life that you share with people. And really, this is one of those moments. You're gonna have it while you have it, and and you're gonna tell people about moments from this, and they will enjoy, they will be wowed by all the things you tell them, and at some point the spark will leave. The bell won't jingle jangle no more, to quote the Polar Express. I'm realizing I got a ring light. If you purchased a $15 ticket, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I realized I'm also sweating. I was on the move today. And when you got a ring light and you're sweating, it looks horrifying. And so I just want to apologize and thank all of you for being here. But right now, are you all ready? I don't know if you're ready yet to start this show. Throw some emojis out. I can show you how to do it. You don't have to have your cameras on if you don't want to, but you can throw up one of these little party horns. You can throw up some claps. You can throw up some thumbs. Don't throw up thumbs up. Actually, those are a little too muted, I think, for the environment we're going for. I want, Caroline, the oh my God, what have I just seen? That's what that emoji means for me. Anyway, I think we're ready now. Okay, let's give it up, everyone, for Zach Kusan. Hey.
Hey, what is up, y'all? So my name is Zach. It's a solid single syllable name for a white dude. That's Zach with an H. Z-A-C-K, that is a little too close to the word sack for me, because God forbid your fifth grade class makes that connection, and then you are now nutsack Zach for the next 8 years. Congratulations. I'm also not a Z-A-C either, though. Those guys, little too shifty, if you ask me. Like, take Zac Efron, for example. How the hell are we going to trust a guy who's just as comfortable playing the musically inclined teenage heartthrob as he is playing America's most charming serial killer? It's actually really hard for me to go back and watch High School Musical now. It's so much more intense because I just imagine it as the prequel to his Ted Bundy movie. So the entire time I'm just like, don't look into those gorgeous eyes, Vanessa. It's a trap. Having said that, though, I'd rather hang out with a ZAC before spending any length of time with a guy who introduces himself as Zachary. That is a surefire sign that you're about to engage in a 30-minute conversation about someone's coin collection, or perhaps what the best brands of plain flavored gum might be. So I grew up in New Hampshire. I spent most of my life there. And if you've never been to New Hampshire, we've got lakes, mountains, a lot of white people, and a lot of heroin. It's actually pretty bad. Trump actually once called it a drug-infested den, true story. And in response, people from New Hampshire flooded social media with photos of their beautiful hikes with captions like, "Another beautiful day in my drug-infested den." Like they were trying to somehow prove that we didn't have a huge drug problem. And my issue with that is, like, of course the heroin users aren't at the summit of a 4,000-foot mountain. In my experience, they tend to be a lot lower to the ground. And I'm no expert, but I can't imagine getting high on heroin and having my first thought be like, oh man, you know what I could really go for right now? Walking up for 7 straight hours. Right? It doesn't work that way. But yeah, I live in DC now, though. And I gotta say, coming down here was actually pretty devastating for me. I had to deal with this just crushing realization that I was nothing but a walking fucking stereotype. Like, not special, not unique, just a generic white hipster B, I suppose. I've even got my ears gauged. They're like just small enough to say I'd still like to be employed, but big enough for you to think, that guy probably does drugs. But yeah, like all the shit that I thought made me really special and unique in New Hampshire, I come to now down to DC, all of a sudden it doesn't mean shit. Even the stuff that I thought made me really unique. For example, my partner is a Black woman. In New Hampshire, that shit was cutting edge. People would literally come up to me on the sidewalk and be like, dude, you are fucking woke. Happen all the time, I swear. But come to DC, though, and I start noticing a trend. Not only are there a lot of guys that look exactly like me, a lot of them are also with Black women. Black women dating skinny, bearded white dudes is a thing. I thought that was fucking my thing. Here I was, think I was, fucking woke. But really, I'm basically just another Zoomer trying to get TikTok famous, right? There are a ton of me out there. I'll never forget the first time I actually saw another interracial couple in DC. I just lit up with excitement. I couldn't contain myself. I actually went to high five the guy and went, "Hey, man, interracial couple. All right." This guy, a complete stranger, mind you, returns the high five. No hesitation. We both walk off with the smug sense of satisfaction that you can only find in the whitest of white men, thinking to ourselves, ah, yes, solving racism. With our dicks, white men save the day again. My girlfriend's eyes rolled so far back into her head, I thought she was going to pass out. No, being with her has been amazing, though. She's taught me just so much about how the world works. Like when you meet a black dude for the first time, how do you combine a handshake, high five, and hug all in one smooth motion? My first attempts were rough, admittedly. The first time it happened, I'll give you the rundown, right? So I meet this guy. We exchange names. He brought his hand out here, going for like the sideways high five thing. My stupid fucking brain immediately goes, "Oh my God, this guy's a hugger too." I go in for the hug. And as soon as my hands touch his shoulders, I immediately realize, oh my God, this man does not want to be touched. It's really awkward. I'm panicking internally, but instead of coming up with something useful, my brain decides to go for the European cheek kiss. Mwah! And you guys, we all know there is nothing a straight black man loves more than being kissed on the face by a white stranger with a penis. Now, being a white guy in black spaces has actually been pretty fun, though. And now, like, one of my favorite things to do is just to impress black strangers with my knowledge of black culture. So, I'll just hit it with them randomly, right? Like, you're waiting in line for coffee, and then, oh my God, your sister locks, they are so gorgeous. Your hair, it is looking so moisturized today. What is that texture? 4A, 4B? The best possible response you can get to that is in, okay, because they're saying like, all right, white boy, we see you, you're down, right? I fucking live for those moments. Like, it's a currency for me, basically. In fact, if anyone's interested, hit me up after the show. We are about to launch a brand new cryptocurrency. It is called Woke Coin. And I promise it's going to be the next big thing. It's sure to make us all millions. It's going to be fantastic. Bit of advice, though, just be cautious. Like most cryptocurrencies, it is an extremely volatile investment. There are definitely a lot of things that can bring the value up and down. I'll give you some examples, right? So there are a lot of like corporate diversity initiatives happening in the country right now, and it's great. We need more diverse voices in the workplace, especially in the like upper levels of management. That's important. That's going to give a bump to the value of WokeCoin. But if that message is being delivered by an old white dude who's still clearly trying to figure out what the best phrase for black people even is, so he like awkwardly stumbles through the phrase African American, that's actually going to drop the value. So watch out for that one. Watching the documentary 13th on Netflix, that's a great one. That's a really quick way to give a slight bump to the value. It's a really important film, gives really good historical context to a lot of this stuff. But don't then go into work the next day and speak to all your black colleagues as if everything in that film is like some kind of revelatory knowledge, just being like, I don't think slavery ever really went away. I think it just changed forms. Yeah, don't do that. That's going to drop the value. If your black neighbor gives you a very friendly hello and you want to return the hello, but you're accidentally like kind of juggling your phone, your wallet, and your keys, and so you accidentally give him the black power fist back, I actually don't know what that does to the value of WokeCoin. We're learning, right? It's a brand new crypto. We're going to figure this stuff out. One that definitely is going to decrease the value, though, is anytime a white woman says, "Yas, queen." That's actually a double whammy because it decreases the value of both woke coin and queer coin. So stop saying that. Stop losing us all money. No one wants that to happen. And honestly, the worst thing that you can do for the value of woke coin, especially as a white person, is just saying the word woke. This entire bit actually just dropped the value by 300%. So hopefully y'all got out early, made some money. Best of luck to you. But no, being a professional woke coin miner, such as myself, it does land me into some fairly awkward situations on occasion. Like there was one time I was at a strip club for my brother's bachelor party up in Montreal. And, it's great. We're having a wonderful time. Eventually, a stripper came up to us, happened to be a black woman. And she says, hey, boys, anyone looking for a dance? Now, I never had a lap dance before. My girlfriend was actually going to buy me one here in DC, but they're like $150 down here. In Montreal, it's $10 a song. And of course, I didn't want to be rude. So I say, sure, why not? And so she's leading me across the club, right, to the private dance booths. And the entire time, I'm just giddy with excitement because I'm thinking about this inevitable moment where she's going to ask, so, is this your first time with a black woman? And then I get to say, why no? In fact, I've lived with a black woman for the past 6 years and she's the absolute love of my life. And then she'll go, okay. And the value of woke coin is going straight to the moon, right? It's going to be great. Didn't exactly go down that way. She did ask, but the phrasing she went with was, so, is this your first taste of chocolate? Now the pressure's on me, right? Because I'm trying to be cool, but like I also still really want to let her know I got a black girlfriend. Uh, Unfortunately, my brain betrayed me once again, and the next words that come out of my mouth are, ma'am, you can call me Willy Wonka because I live at the chocolate factory. I'm fucking dead inside at this point, right? The value of woke coin is just plummeting, right? Like call it a day. But she's a professional. She immediately follows that up with, does Mr. Wonka want some sugar? And at this point, like I'm fucking in it. Like I just have to keep rolling with this like ridiculous exchange. And so I come back with, as long as it's natural, I'm not a big fan of Splenda. Apparently that was the right thing to say because the next thing I know, she's topless, dancing really close to me, and it's great. I'm having a wonderful time, but I'm not there for fun. I'm on business, right? I'm a professional woke coin miner. Unfortunately, I can't really come up with anything clever to say after that. And so, like an idiot, I just blurted out randomly, my girlfriend is black. And then she goes, okay. And I figured, that was probably about as good as I was going to get. So, yeah. Um, no, I've been like so we've been together for 6 years now. My girlfriend and I, not the stripper. And we're finally at that point now where we've decided like, okay, it's time to expand the family. And so we recently got a dog and he's been great. Like he's an awesome boy. But one of the things like I hadn't really considered is just how different looking for a pet is nowadays. Like I hadn't done it in a really long time. And so basically when you're like looking on Pet Finder, you basically have to scroll through like social media profiles for dogs, right? There's like a whole dog social media out there, which I think is a terrible idea. Like social media is bad enough for people. Like what the hell is going to happen with our dogs, right? Right now we're okay because it's still kind of like in the MySpace phase. It's largely just like photos and a quick description. But what's going to happen when dog Facebook becomes a thing and you have methed out chihuahuas sending conspiracy theories to everyone? Just like, they're putting catnip in the rabies vaccine, man. They're trying to keep us docile. Or like, what if dog Instagram becomes a thing? And so the internet is just flooded with a bunch of photos of dogs, like looking back at the camera with their tail sticking up in the air. And so like, you just have a bunch of dog assholes on Instagram. That's disgusting. No one wants that. I talk a little bit about what I think dog Tinder might be like, but I'm still working on like the bestiality content. So stay tuned. That'll come at a later show. But yeah, one of the other interesting things about getting a dog is that they come with a name already. So when we got our dog, his name was Beck. And I just assumed like, oh, wow, this person must have been a music fan, right? He's named after the musician Beck. But when we were bringing him home, when we got back to DC, as soon as he saw the Capitol, he started to get like really anxious. Like he was zipping back and forth in the car. And we were like really confused. Like, what the hell's going on with this guy? Then we let him out of the car and he makes a fucking beeline, like right towards the Capitol. It was almost as if he was trying to like plot some sort of insurrection. And that's when I realized, that's when it hit me. This fucking guy's named after Glenn Beck, not the musician. So needless to say, we had to change that up. So now his name is Freddie, after Freddie Mercury. And so now he just has cocaine fueled orgies every night. So, small bit of progress, I suppose. One of my other favorite things about having a dog is that now, in addition to Googling your 30-year-old health problems, and convincing yourself that you do in fact have stage 4 cancer, ALS, and AIDS, you get to do the exact same thing for your dog. It's wonderful. So I'm petting Freddie a few days after we get him because he's such a good boy. He's getting belly rubs, and I started noticing he has all these like really weird lumps on his stomach. Like they're soft. They have like a black tip to them. And I'd never seen them before. And so, I'm kind of like, oh, I wonder what this is. And of course, when I Google it, the first thing that comes up is puppy melanoma, right? And I'm just a fucking neurotic person. And so I'm instantly going to like the worst case scenario, right? Thanks, Mom. I'm just like imagining this entire scene playing out where like I'm having to help this poor little guy fight cancer, and I'm like in there with him at the vet when they have to like put him down and end his suffering, and it's breaking my heart. I'm sending photos to my friends, my family, his vet, just begging for answers, like trying to like get some sort of like handle on what the hell is going on with my poor little guy. And then 10 minutes went by. Obviously it felt like an eternity, and we did get a diagnosis back, and it turned out that he had a very, very severe case of nipples. I sent a photo of my dog's tits to like 15 different people. All right, thanks guys, that's my time.
Keep it going for Zach Kusan, everyone. The first person in history to call a strip club a wonderful time. And the second person, he said it twice. He said, it was a wonderful time. We had a wonderful time. Oh, what a joy Zach is. But everybody, this show's not over. No, we have a fantastic, wonderful, one and only, inimitable, the fantastic Caroline Hibbert. Come on up, Caroline.
Thank you. What an introduction. I don't know if I can live up to all of that. I'm in Delaware right now at the beach. It took us 5 hours to get here from DC instead of the 3 that it was supposed to. So I'm feeling like awesome and pumped up, obviously. I also just started using a natural deodorant that doesn't have aluminum in it. And my body hasn't really reacted well to that yet. So I'm also smelling really awesome. The friends I came here with decided that it was more important for them to go out to a drag themed dinner than watch my show. I think it's probably because I smell like shit, to be quite honest. Anyways, I'm going to stop complaining. This show tonight will be rated PG-13 for My Mom is Here. Everyone give it up for my mom. Without her, this part of the show would not exist. Truly. And I'm always surprised by how much she still loves and supports me, because I was a really difficult child. Like, even when I was a fetus, I refused to be born. I was forcefully ejected via C-section eventually. My dad did not show up tonight. He never shows up to my stuff. He hasn't been to a single event in like 11 years. It's not because he's a negligent father. He's just dead. It happens. But, I was thinking you could at least show up in like ghost form, because like this is LITFest. It's a big deal. Like, I bought a fucking ring light. Really like accentuates my glowing ghost form as well. But to answer any follow-up questions you might have about what I just said, yes, I do believe in ghosts. And because I believe in ghosts, I believe in their rights. And listen to what I have to say. My friend was once sitting in a restaurant for so long without anybody acknowledging her that she believed deep down that she had passed away. And she was thinking, like, is this what it feels like to be a ghost? Because it fucking sucks. I mean, I feel for them. Like, no wonder they're making noises and trying to get your attention. Just like picture it. You're in the kitchen about to eat pizza. You don't even know that there's a ghost like looking over your shoulder and being like, I literally died from starvation and you won't even share your Dominoes with me. Like, you don't need it right now, bitch. You're stoned and it's 2 a.m. Like, I haven't eaten in 300 years. What the fuck? Yeah, I want to be a hype woman for ghosts, but I'd love to do it in like an Elizabeth Warren way. Like, I'm in this fight. I'm in this fight with you. I'm going to help you get to the other side, but we can't do it on an empty stomach. My Aunt B always made sure my family had dominoes. I'm going to make sure you have dominoes on your journey. We're going to get you there. I'm in this fight. I'm in it. That's my Elizabeth Warren impression, everybody. Yay. Love her. But I do realize that I picked the like whitest, most transparent supernatural creature that I could like fight for, you know. It's a bit problematic, I think. Speaking of problematic places, Zach was talking about New Hampshire. I also grew up in New England. And if you've ever read a Stephen King novel or seen a movie produced by the one and only Ben Affleck, it's pretty easy to deduce that people from there have a lot of baggage that they carry around emotionally. Like, I won't get into it, but you know, like the time my very Catholic grandmother like slut shamed me when I was 11 for wearing a small heel to church. She thought the other grown men would be looking at my child legs, apparently. I don't know. Not going to talk about that. Also won't talk about the time that the DARE guy that came in to, you know, teach us about how bad pot was a cop who also owned a liquor store, like on the side. Which is like, by the way, the most Massachusetts profession known to man. Funnily enough, he did not warn us about the dangers of excessive drinking. It was just the pot. Also, we'll talk about like my own baggage and thoughts like I had recently, thinking like, I never want to give birth to a live child, but I would love to know what it's like to lay an egg. And I think it's really sad that like I'll never have that experience as a human. Just like a little bit of what I'm thinking about. No, what I do want to talk about tonight, and I want you guys to participate in this with me, is drum roll, buddy, racism, America's favorite pastime that, according to Fox News, no longer exists. I was just wondering, like, when people realized that the North was also just as racist as the South, but in like a different way. And if there are people of color here, I don't know if there are who are watching, but they're probably like, always, you dumb bitch. So I will pose this question to my fellow oblivious whites. When did you realize it? Because it took me a very long time. I thought that if you were born above the Mason-Dixon line, you just automatically were like a card-carrying, you know, ally. Which is pretty ironic because, as I mentioned with Liquor Cop, I'm from Massachusetts. And Boston is consistently ranked like the most racist city in America. Not just the Northeast, not the East Coast, America, which is home to the state of Alabama, for context. So yeah, it took me a while. I kind of didn't really recognize somebody being that way until I was about 18. I was working in a pizza shop the summer before I went to college. And I told one of the managers there, I'm going to a school called Rhodes. It's in Memphis, Tennessee. And he responds like, oh yeah, I've driven through Memphis before. Like, it's a super racist place. People there will just say like, insert slur here without even thinking about it. But here's the thing. He said the word. Like, he said the word without any hesitation. And I'm just like, I know that you're high on like multiple substances right now, but like, my man, do you not see the irony in this situation at all? Yeah, he didn't. Another time, I had a friend after graduation. I had a friend visit me from the South. I was back home in Massachusetts, no job, no money, living it up, you know. But here's the thing, when I was in college, I was kind of on my high horse. I would always be like, yeah, Northerners aren't like overly polite, but at least we're not insanely prejudiced, which like, LOL now. But we were in Boston and we were on the T, which is that city's attempt at a subway system. It's one of the major lines on it is literally a fucking trolley that has to stop for like red lights on the street. It is a joke. Anyways, we're on like the little trolley that could. And this like somewhat violent, obviously unhinged white man starts going on this tirade about how you can't trust Asians. And again, we're like basically sitting in traffic and stopped at a red light. So it just felt like forever until we could like get out of that, you know, horrible situation. And then when we do get out, my friend has her suitcase and we're walking up the stairs and a man actually, like a true Northern gentleman, grabs it for her and walks it to the top and places it back down. So yeah, like horrible racist tirade, check. Overt politeness, check. Like me falling off my high horse and being trampled to death by it, check. Like we might as well have been in the South. Like really no difference at all. I'd say the like thinking Northerners are better than all Southerners was a phase. Another phase I went through was smoking cigarettes. Gross, right? Like who does that anymore? I don't anymore. But I did in high school because I was a really good kid in high school. I didn't do the 3 Ds, like drinking, drugs, or dating. I was really cool. But, you know, I did need some kind of outlet for my, you know, angsty, rebellious teenage brain. So I listened to a lot of emo music, including My Chemical Romance, right? Amazing. And I watched their tour documentary, which is called My Life on the Murder Scene. And I fucking loved it. And apparently that documentary is about them murdering their own lungs because everybody in that band smoked. But like I watched it and it clicked with me. I was like, this is going to be my thing. This is going to be my like act of rebellion. I'm going to be a smoker. Like absolute idiot. I did get caught once, wasn't very stealthy about it. My friend's parents had these cigarettes, very off-brand, never seen them anywhere else, but they're called Monarchs. And we snuck down into my basement to smoke them because that's so much more inconspicuous than going outside. But then we heard, you know, steps in the kitchen above us and we freaked out. So I don't put the cigarette out all the way and I just chuck it into a corner near some like, you know, that pink like fiberglass insulation, like the really flammable shit. Yeah, that's where I threw it. So my mom was obviously furious that I did that. And she told me to go to my room, which I would have gone to if it still existed. Just kidding. I didn't actually burn the house down. They did try to ground me for a couple of days, but like, I don't know if you remember this, Mom, but I think you and Dad had like this gift certificate to a restaurant and it was going to expire. And you couldn't leave me, the little arsonist, like home alone, obviously. So I just got to go to the restaurant with them. Like I had a nice dinner at the Naked Oyster. If it's still there, we should go back this summer and relive some memories. Yeah, I did break my mom's trust on fire safety that night though, because like I'm almost 30 to this day. She will, if she knows a candle or incense is lit, anything like that, she basically needs visual evidence that it's been like blown out before I fall asleep. Yeah, so again, that was kind of like a teenage rebellious thing. I like smoked on and off a little bit and then not at all until I went to Paris a couple of years ago. And while I was there, I assumed my French persona of Caroline Hibert, who was a real fucking douchebag. Because Caroline decided it was a great idea to go out and like drink a lot and try to keep up with like the locals in terms of their cigarette consumption. So like needless to say, I went through quite a few of those. And the next morning when I woke up and I was back to being like regular Caroline Hibbert, I felt very, very ill. It wasn't great. But good news is like Caroline has not made another appearance recently, or, you know, I haven't wanted to smoke a cigarette. I haven't had that inclination at all, which is very lucky. And because I'm still relatively young, I'm like, cool, whatever cells I like fucked up by smoking can regenerate and my body can go on and pretend that I never abused it with nicotine in the first place. But then my face was like, not so fast. I need to open my phone to show you guys something. It is a photo of me and a friend. We are the same age. This was taken a couple of months ago. And I just want you to like look, all right, so here are her eyes, right? Normal, like 20, 29-year-old. Here are my eyes. Like, look at the lines around them. Like fucking crepe paper, like so crinkly. What are those? What are they? It actually, I do. I know what those are. Those are consequences, right? Like consequences of smoking monarchs, consequences of ignoring ghosts, consequences of being naive about racism, and consequences of trying to live life on the murder scene. Yikes. Okay, that's all I have for tonight, everybody. Pray for my eyes.
Keep it going for Caroline Hibbert, Caroline Ibert, both of them, and for Cynthia Hibbert. And guys, this was a nice, tight little show. We don't want to keep you on Zoom for too long, okay? So it's over now. You get to go home. But I do want to thank you all for being here. And we got like a tight, exclusive enough group that I can thank you all individually. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Brittany. You're an iconic legend yourself. Thank you, Abby, who's running the Lit Comedy account. Thank you, Zach Kusan and Caroline Hibbert, our fantastic comics for tonight. Thank you, Cynthia Hibbert, for bringing us Caroline, even if it was a C-section, which was mentioned earlier. I was a C-section also. Okay, I feel great about that. Always great to meet a parent that, frankly, I've heard a lot about. But
Good stuff.
You're all free to go now. I'll play you off. Oh no, my piano's off, so I can't. But yeah, head out. Here we go.